Episode 6. The Hunt Begins. The trio's lives are far from normal now. After Arif's awakening of the pendant's power, they realize they're in deeper than they ever imagined. With Leo's warning about the Seekers, the group who hunts ancient artifacts like the pendant, they must prepare for the inevitable. The stakes are rising, and Ravenwood High is no longer just a school. It's a battleground where danger lurks around every corner. Scene 1. Tensions rise. The next morning, the hallways of Ravenwood feel different to Arif. Every student, every teacher seems like they could be watching him. Jason and Sarah walk with him, trying to act casual, but the events of the previous night are fresh on their minds. I've been thinking, if the Seekers are coming after you, how long until they show up? Do they know where you are? Arif shrugs, glancing over his shoulder nervously. Leo made it sound like they'd know as soon as I use the pendant's power, so it's only a matter of time. Sarah, unusually quiet, suddenly stops, causing Arif and Jason to look at her. We need to be smart about this. If we panic, we'll make mistakes. Leo said the Seekers are dangerous, but we don't know anything about them yet. We need information before we can plan our next move. Jason frowns, clearly agitated. What's there to know? They want the pendant. They're coming for Arif. We need to be ready to fight. Arif feels a sinking pit in his stomach. He barely controlled the pendant last night. How could he face an entire organization that's been hunting it for centuries? Scene 2. Uncovering the past. That afternoon, the trio returns to their usual spot in the school library. Sarah has already gathered a pile of old newspapers, yearbooks, and historical records, determined to learn more about the Seekers and their connection to the pendant. Sarah, flipping through documents. If this pendant has been around as long as we think, the Seekers must have left a trail. We just need to find it. Jason pulls up a chair, leaning in as he watches her work. You're like Sherlock Holmes when you get in research mode. Sarah ignores him, focused on the task. Here, look at this. She holds up an old newspaper from the 1970s. The headline reads, "Local Professor Missing After Mysterious Discovery." Professor Marcus Kane, an archaeologist from Ravenwood's history department, he went missing 50 years ago after announcing he'd found something world-changing. That has to be related to the pendant. Arif looks at the article, his heart skipping a beat. You think the Seekers took him? It fits their pattern. If Kane found something connected to the pendant, they would have come for him, just like they're coming for you now. Jason leans back, arms crossed. So, we're up against some secret organization that's been taking people out for decades. Great. Sarah slams another document on the table, her eyes blazing with determination. We're not going to let them take Arif. We'll find a way to stop them. Scene 3. The first encounter. Later that night, Arif walks home alone. The streets are eerily quiet. His heart pounds as he keeps glancing over his shoulder, convinced someone or something is watching him. Suddenly, the air shifts. A cold breeze brushes past him, and the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. A shadowy figure steps out from an alleyway, blocking his path. The figure is dressed in a long black coat, their face obscured by the darkness. In a cold, calm voice, Arif Khan, you have something that belongs to us. Arif's hand instinctively moves to the pendant, fingers trembling as he feels its pulse against his skin. Who? Who are you? The figure steps closer, their presence sending chills down his spine. Figure, we are the Seekers. You've awakened the power. Now hand over the pendant, and we won't have to do this the hard way. Arif takes a step back, heart racing. He knows he can't fight them, not alone. But something inside him refuses to give up the pendant without a fight. Arif, I'm not giving it to you. The figure lets out a low, menacing laugh. You don't understand what you're dealing with, boy. The pendant is far more dangerous than you can imagine. If you don't hand it over, you'll wish you had. Suddenly, a hand grabs the figure's arm from the shadows. It's Leo. Calm, but with a dangerous edge. Back off. He's under my protection. The figure looks at Leo, their expression unreadable. So, you're still playing protector, Leo? You should have learned by now. This won't end well for you. Leo tightens his grip on the figure's arm. Get lost. You've got no business here. The figure glares at Leo for a moment before stepping back into the shadows, disappearing without a trace. Arif lets out a shaky breath, still clutching the pendant. Leo, what was that? Who are they? Leo's expression is grim as he watches the shadows. That was one of the Seekers. They're just the beginning. There are more, and they won't stop until they get what they want. Scene 4. Planning for War. The next morning, Arif, Jason, and Sarah meet in the school courtyard, still shaken from the encounter. So they're here. We're officially on their radar. Which means we need to stay one step ahead. We can't just wait around for them to strike again. Arif nods, his jaw clenched with determination. Leo saved me last night, but he can't always be there. I need to learn how to use the pendant's power. Really use it. Then let's train. If the Seekers want to fight, we'll give them one. Sarah glances at Arif, her expression worried. We need more than brute force. We need to outsmart them. If they've been around for centuries, they have resources and knowledge we don't. Jason frowns but nods. Okay, but where do we start? How do we fight an ancient organization? Leo suddenly appears behind them, as quiet as ever. You start by learning everything you can about them, and that means going where the Seekers keep their secrets. Arif raises an eyebrow. And where's that? Leo's eyes glint dangerously. They're archives, hidden in a place no one would think to look, right here at Ravenwood. Scene 5. The Hidden Archives. That night, the group sneaks back into the school, following Leo through dark hallways into the older, unused sections of the building. The corridors are abandoned, filled with dust and silence. They stop in front of a nondescript door in the basement, covered in cobwebs. Leo pulls out a small, intricate key and unlocks it, revealing a staircase leading even further underground. This feels like the start of a horror movie. Leo smirks but says nothing as they descend. The air grows colder, and the walls turn to old stone, as if they've stepped into another era. At the bottom, they reach another door. Leo pushes it open, revealing a dimly lit room filled with ancient books, scrolls, and artifacts. This is incredible. Everything you need to know about the Seekers is here, but be careful, some secrets are better left buried. As they step into the room, the weight of what lies ahead settles on them. The battle for the pendant is just beginning. End of episode 6.